Our story begins on the morning of August 4th, 1892, in Fall River, Massachusetts. Lizzie Andrew Borden, a 32-year-old woman, and her sister Emma lived with their father, Andrew Borden, and their stepmother, Abby. What started as a seemingly ordinary day turned into one of the most gruesome crime scenes in American history. Andrew Borden and Abby Borden were found murdered in their home. Andrew was discovered slumped over on the couch in the living room, and Abby, the stepmom, was found upstairs in the bedroom. Both had been struck multiple times with a hatchet, and the scene was nothing short of horrific. But who could have committed such a horrible crime? Lizzie Borden, the primary suspect in this case. Lizzie claimed to have been in the barn at the time of the murders, and her testimony was full of anything but ordinary. Despite the evidence, Lizzie was never caught red-handed. The case became a media sensation, capturing the public's imagination with the details and Lizzie's crazy demeanor. And a lot of things especially with Lizzie Borden, I guess a lot of people said Lizzie was just not all there. So a lot of stuff that had happened during the trials did not make any sense. Well, you'll see what I'm talking about when I get a little bit further into the story. Let's delve into the evidence, or lack thereof, that shaped this case. The forensic science at the time was not the best, as it is in today's world. There were no fingerprints or DNA testing to rely on. Much of the case hinged on circumstantial evidence and witness testimony. For instance, Lizzie claimed to have heard nothing out of the ordinary despite the violent nature of the crimes. So you're going to tell me you didn't hear anybody scream from upstairs or downstairs inside of the gigantic house that they lived in. Yeah, you could be in the barn, but the walls back then were not as good as they are now. So how did you not hear any type of screaming or even like a struggling or anything? A maid named Bridget Sullivan, who was present during the murders at the time, gave testimony that didn't always align perfectly with Lizzie's version of events. Lizzie's social standing also played a significant role in the whole case. The Borden family was very, very wealthy, and her social circle was influential. Many believe that Lizzie's status influenced the legal proceedings and the media's portrayal of her. The case was heavily scrutinized in the press, often reflecting the social biases and sensationalization of the era. So you got to remember, this is all the way back, not like today's times. During the trial, Lizzie's defense argued that she had been unfairly targeted because of her gender and class. The prosecution struggled with the lack of concrete evidence linking her directly to the crime. Ultimately, after a higher publicized trial, Lizzie Borden was acquitted of all charges in June 1893. But the case did not end there. Lizzie Borden's reputation remained tarnished. She faced social awkwardism and lived the rest of her life under a cloud of suspicion. Well, I would too. Lizzie and Emma moved out of the family home and lived in a relatively secluded area until Lizzie's death in 1927. If you're in a wealthy family and you're very well known, I would think you would be very suspicious too. So I can kind of see where a lot of people really didn't trust Lizzie Borden, and I think even her own sister did not really trust her as well. The mystery of the Borden murders has continued to captivate historians, true crime enthusiasts, and even conspiracy theorists. Theories range from the idea that Lizzie was guilty but cleverly evaded justice to more elaborate explorations involving other family members or even outsiders. There's been a couple stories out there that say that Lizzie was possessed by something, or that somebody who knew of the wealth of the family, they came in and they ended up committing these horrible crimes. So before we get back into the Lizzie Borden case, I wanted to bring up Paraflix real quick. Paraflix is the newest streaming service out there for anything that's paranormal. It's all paranormal shows. For $4.99 a month or $49.99 for an entire year, you can watch all these fantastic programs on Paraflix. And guess what? Shadowhunters, that's us. We are on Paraflix as well. We do a show on there called Shadowhunter Solo Sessions, where it involves us going into the dark, haunted areas, haunted place, wherever, by ourselves, and we see if we can actually encounter any type of paranormal activity. So if you guys have not, definitely check out Paraflix out there right now. Like I said, it's $4.99 a month or $49.99 for an entire year. Now, back to Lizzie Borden. Some suggest that Lizzie's sister Emma also may have had a role, or that Andrew's business dealings could have led him into murder. Others propose that Lizzie might have been framed by someone seeking revenge. But with the evidence so sparse and the witnesses long gone, but the true story remains elusive. The Borden house still stands in Fall River, Massachusetts. You can go and do a paranormal investigation at the actual house. Some say that they can still hear screams of Mrs. Borden being hacked by the axe, or others have also said they can sometimes see Lizzie at the top of the stairs just staring at her next victim. I have never been to the Lizzie Borden house. We were actually going to go. We went back to, God, when was this? This was in 2020 when COVID was still around, or brand new, I should say. We actually went to Massachusetts. We went to the Hocus Pocus locations and everything. And we were actually going to go to the Lizzie Borden house. Unfortunately, it's a little too expensive just to even go inside and take pictures and everything. But you guys should definitely book a paranormal investigation. There have been a lot of paranormal activity that has happened inside of the house, a lot of people say. Anywhere from apparitions to, like I was saying, screams or anything like that. So I still think it would be pretty cool to go check out. And also, too, with Lizzie Borden, there's a lot of movies that are out there right now that kind of, do their little Hollywood spin on what actually happened with the Lizzie Borden case. There's a good one that's out there right now where Christina Ricci, who played Wednesday in the Addams Family, she had played Lizzie Borden. It's called Lizzie Borden Took an Axe. I want to say it's on Netflix right now. You can actually watch it. I think they did a pretty good job of portraying the trial and everything. And Christina Ricci, I think, did a fantastic job at playing Lizzie Borden. But a lot of people still right now, they don't know if she did do it or she didn't do it. It's a mystery. There's a lot of psychics out there that say she did. There's a lot of psychics out there that say she had nothing to do with it. But in the movie, and this is where Hollywood, portrays things completely different. In the movie, Lizzie Borden Took an Axe, she goes at the end of the movie and she tells her sister exactly what she did, and the sister runs out of the room crying. I don't know if that's actually what happened. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think that Lizzie Borden is guilty? Do you think she actually killed her father and her mother? Let me know in the comment section below. And thank you guys so much for joining us for our first podcast. We're really excited to do this podcast and really get it taken off. So if you guys can please help us out, please share, please like, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. This will also be on Spotify and just YouTube and Spotify. And thank you so much to our sponsors, Paraflix and Broadhead Manor. Paraflix is the newest streaming service. Definitely download Paraflix now. That actually shows actual paranormal investigations. Not a lot of stuff like you do see on TV. But these are actual paranormal teams going out and going on paranormal investigations. And then also Broadhead Manor. Broadhead Manor is located in Broadhead, Wisconsin. It's a huge, gigantic school that you can actually go to and do paranormal investigations. Bill Walter is the owner. Fantastic guy, fantastic place. I highly 100% recommend Broadhead Manor. So if you guys can, go to Broadhead Manor's Facebook page. definitely give them a like. Same with Paraflix. Go to Paraflix's Facebook page, give them a like. I know Broadhead Manor had just hit over 10,000 followers, which is fantastic. That's really, really good. So definitely go book an investigation over at Broadhead Manor. So thank you guys again for joining me. My name is Nick Sarlo with Shadowhunters Paranormal Investigation and Events, and I will see you guys next week for podcast number 2.